Good afternoon, Vice Forecaster JD back with you in the Breaking Weather Center. We have a new tornado warning in process. This is in Tennessee, so we get these spin ups along a lot. So let's go right to Storm Commander. Tornado warning in effect for the Nashville area. This is north central Columbia County and south central Nashville. I meant Tennessee, south central Vance County in Tennessee about 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 3:38, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was 10 miles northwestern Fairfield grade, or 11 miles north of Crossville. This is down here in Tennessee, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. Hazardous tornado. So, folks, this is a radar indicated tornado. So definitely, if you live in any of these communities, this is the time to get centered and get covered immediately. This is a tornado warning that goes in effect into around, it looks like about 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So, alright, so go look at velocity, and I can see why. Red, that little blue color, that's some pretty decent tight rotation. So, if you live in any of these communities, now's the time to seek shelter. Move to the lowest floor of your home. Put a bike helmet, football helmet on. Protect yourself from flying debris. This is a tornado warning that goes in effect about 4 p.m. So, just a second, I'm going to invite somebody on so they could probably help me out here. So, we don't have no confirmed report of a tornado on the ground right now, but what we do have is a tornado forming, so we definitely need to be taking this storm really seriously. So, I'm going to get one more person on to pop on with me for a second. I'm going to try to see if Ian's available, but he may not be. So, just a second. I got to do something. Change it to... Alright, so this storm still's giving me signs of some pretty decent tight rotation. So, yeah, definitely, this storm is really tightening up in Tennessee, so definitely need to get sheltered, get covered, put a baseball helmet. So, folks, this storm is really giving me gate-to-gate sheared with up to 64 miles of gust with this. So, definitely, this is a very tight storm. We don't have no confirmed report of a tornado on the ground right now, but this storm is giving me very tight signs of rotation. So, you want to move to the lowest floor. Especially when this really tights up like that. You've definitely got to get centered and get covered. We have a tornado warning now. This means go to the basement if you have one. Ground floor. Put as many walls between you as possible now. This is a tornado warning that goes in effect into around 4 o'clock. So this is the reason why we're back on air is because we have a tornado warning. And the rule around here, we try to stay with this if we need to. So right now we're at about almost at 3:47. We're continuing to track these storms today that decided to form, and we're continuing to do this. Red next to green means always gate to gate sheared. So what I want to do, hit the pause button for a second, go to this tool we use here. This is to see if we have any debris with this. And yeah, look at this. Gosh. Folks, we do get a little bit debris ball right there. So this tornado could be on the ground. So definitely it's time to seek shelter. Go to the lowest floor of your home, put a bike helmet on top of your head, a mattress between you, because me just looking at this storm could be having a tornado on the ground, it looks like, but it doesn't show nothing on the text. But me looking at the little colors with the blue color, this is kind of telling me what we could have something there. So definitely seek shelter in a basement now on the lowest floor. This is some pretty decent signs of that debris ball. So we'll put the thing in motion here so you can just see what we got. Very strong debris ball with this. So once we do get the debris ball like that, that is an indication of, you can see a let me flip this back on for a second. That's where you can see a tornado that could be on the ground doing some damage. So we doing something, but we don't see on radar. So we'll put that radar back on, and you can see that is very tight little debris ball right there. So let me switch this off for a second and switch back here to see if we have any hail with this. This just tells me we have just heavy rain and hail with this. So this could just be producing, dry objects. So don't see anything with that. Switch back to regular radar and flip that thing off for a second. This storm could be producing 80% of dropping some hail. Let's pull up this again on our, and it's still giving me some very tight rotation. That's why I'm concerned that this area here could be a tornado that's on the ground, folks. It's very tight rotation like that. Anytime you get that very tight storm like that, that could be a producing storm that could produce a tornado, and we definitely got to take this really seriously. Red next to green, that is giving me gate-to-gate sheared like that, so we definitely got to keep that storm very seriously. So right now, if you with us, all right, we just got another tornado warning, so we'll be staying with you for a little while right now. So let me back out of this thing for a second and just let me take a look. Tornado warning continues right now, so we got a new tornado warning that goes in effect. That was for another 9 minutes. The new one goes in effect into another 39 minutes for South Central Scott County and eastern Tennessee. At 4:47, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Fairfield Grade, or 14 miles of Crossville, moving at 35 miles an hour. Hazardous tornado and $50 size hail. So if you listed in any of these communities, you definitely got to get centered and get covered immediately. This is a tornado warning. And yeah, look at this. Goodness gracious. Very tight circulation with that storm again. So we definitely got some more rotation with these storms that I'm more concerned about, with the possibility of tornadoes. So you definitely want to be shaking shelter now. The reason why we're continuing to keep you updated and it's because we got these warnings in place. So it's a pretty nice afternoon, but we're getting some thunderstorms are now getting going. And this is why we're still, the Weather Service in Tennessee, just keep mentioning these warnings. So I would take these storms very seriously, folks. We'll be staying on the air with you just for a little longer because we got this tornado warning. So I'll pull up the our tools to make sure we don't have any debris again. And anytime you still get this dark blue here around this area, that is a very tight debris ball like that. That means we have objects in the air. So if you're in this tornado warning, you need to be in a tornado safe spot right now, folks. You got to get centered. You got to get covered. Mobile homes are not going to be safe in these type of events right now. So you got to get out of the mobile home, go somewhere right now. This tornado warning is kick-cocking at, let's see, at 35 miles an hour. So this is a little slow. So you got to get somewhere now. This is at debris ball right there. It's very tight. And that's where you see the strongest sign of the rotation right there is that tornado warning. And we'll see if what it says here. So if you're listed in Frozen Hard State Park, you need to be shaking shelter. And a lot of people like to do stuff this time of day, but this debris ball like that is very showing me signs of some very strong rotation there. So definitely you want to get centered and get covered and go somewhere because this is a tornado warning that goes in effect into round. This one goes in effect into round 5:30, and this is in effect for Eastern Daylight Time. So definitely you got to seek shelter. So we'll be right back just in a second. All right, I'm back. So if you live in that tornado warning, now's the time to seek shelter. So we're getting a new storm by Fairfield Grade School down here. This storm is about 50%. It's coming severe. So soak up this area here. If you live in that area, we'll see what we got in place here now. Yeah, there's some more wind shear, folks. Red next to green. So this is gate to gate sheared right there. So we could be getting another storm that's going to spin up again. So you definitely got to get centered, get covered now. This storm does not have no warning yet, but it still showed me signs of some pretty decent wind shear. So the Weather Service in Tennessee is not joking around with these today. These are very strong thunderstorms are just popping up today. They got a decent amount of shear today, and they could produce brief tornadoes. And there's that wind shear couplet right there. We could be getting a tornado to form with this line of thunderstorms. So definitely, you got to seek shelter. Let's see what else we got in. We might actually switch radars here just a second so I could actually pay attention to this. So hold tight just for a second. I'm going to stop the screen. I'm going to go to the GR level 3. I know this thing actually needs. I'm sorry about the phone ringing. I'll fix that just in a second, everybody. Alright, we switched to radar. Still got the tornado warnings that go into effect. So if you live in any of these communities in Tennessee area, Scott and Morgan counties, at 4:47, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is near Fairfield, Graceville, to 14 miles north of Crossville, moonshine 35. So what we expect is going to be half dollar size hail with the storm. So definitely you got to shake shelter now. Still got red next to green. That is gate to gate sheared with this. So we definitely got to shake shelter. In Chalkville area and Sub-Bright. And just take a look at the Bree ball here. I mean, they had totally different things. Let me switch over to a different site here. And just let it load for a second. And we'll get things just going just in a second. They did have a little bit of debris with one of these storms. I don't know if it was, excuse me, huge debris impacts, but it doesn't take much when we have this huge threat, severe weather today. So you definitely want to shake shelter. A couple of storms have been what we've been watching today. Been having some pretty decent rotation up here by Adult area. That's a new storm trying to get its act together to have some broad rotation. And folks, it's not going to take much today. So far, I've been doing this forecasting today, and these weather things. It's not been taking long for these storms to spin today to get it to tornado warnings. It's not been taking that much long to get that today. So we could be getting storms that continue to form, and they could go tornadic pretty quickly. So if you're with me today, and we're continuing to track these storms today, we have tornado warnings in place. So let's go right to the radar again and trying to get everything going. Very tight rotation. If you're by Sub-Bright area, you definitely need to be on a safe spot. The storm is really tight right there, and it's giving me a little bit of debris. Anytime you get that dark color blue, that's never good. That's where you can get some very strong signs of some debris right by Fairfield Grade School, down Fairfield Glade area. I'm giving some signs that 8% of this storm could produce some very large hail this storm, so we could be going under a new severe thunderstorm warning if this continues, or even a tornado warning. I don't even know what's going to happen, but there's some broad rotation. One tornado warning has just got canceled, so that'll be some good news. But the one for 5 o'clock, I'm really concerned about. The storm is really going to gain some more strength. Probably even cause another tornado warning to be formed in this area because the environment is set up today for that. So all right, let me go back to the computer and hold tight for a second. I'm going to just do a little something. Go back live. All right. Share screen again. Sorry what happened. I just had to fix the computer for a second. All right, back with the tornado warning again. I only got one on board, but this one over here is very tight for rotation. It's been broad, very tight rotation. If you're still in the storm, you want to remain in your tornado safe spot still. With doesn't really have any more debris with it, but that doesn't mean we'll have more debris with the storm. If it continues, we could be having more storms to rotate. The storm is capability of producing hail the size of ping pong now. If you live in any of this community, you definitely need to be in your safe spot. Put a baseball helmet on, a football helmet, protect yourself from flying debris. Because these storms are capability of producing very large hail the size of ping pongs. That's enough to cause some problems, folks. So there could be some pretty decent updrafts from these storms, and that's why we're continuing to watch this for some decent size of rotation. So if you're just joining me, we've been on for, let's check the last time we've been on. 19 minutes has been on because we've been tracking this whole tornado warning, and now it's 20 minutes, so no Nothing's been confirmed on the ground yet. So that's one good news. So we got one strong cell. It still have 50% of becoming severe. Looking for rotation. Last couple scans don't show hardly any but broad rotation. But I do think there could be a severe thunderstorm warning with some very large hail at this. By Sapa, Fairfield, Grayskull down the Glade area in Tennessee, I do think there could be a huge storm that could produce some very large hail at that, at least if we don't see a tornado with this. So definitely that is some very large hail with the storm. So right now, so far we're not seeing any damage with the storm. It's starting to get very tight. So we'll probably stay with us as long as possible. So tornado warning continues about 4:30. It's capability of producing up hail the size of ping pong right now. And just looking through, 40 notch to pretty decent wind shear. And just make sure nothing else is trying to reach the ground with this. We could be getting a brief tornado. So right now, I'm going to be this line of this cluster. I'm going to take the box off, and we'll eventually go with things just in a second. Take all this off, and I'm going to put the last couple scans with you. Take that off for a minute, and I'm going to let things play for a little while. We've been starting to have a huge cluster of thunderstorms in the last couple hours. Those are forming, and these little dots like that and that and that is a supercell, and this is what the cluster started at about almost 4 o'clock. We've been having these lines of thunderstorms coming in, and this is nothing new, folks. We've been having this all the way through 3 o'clock. We had storms popping in. That's that one severe thunderstorm warning started off. Then we had this whole cluster that was just developing, and now this is what we've been having, a line of individual supercells that I thought we would see today. If the sun popped out more, is these little clusters that could develop in some strong cells. So tornado warning continues for about almost another 20 minutes, looking for some decent sheared by Subbird area, Bright area. That's the strongest storm in this area. Could produce a radar indicated tornado, and don't really see anything new. So what we're going to do, since we don't have a new tornado warning right now, and no reports coming in of a tornado on the ground, we'll send things back. But a couple cells up the north of this area is kind of concerning me, because they could give some broad rotation, and anytime you get that broad rotation today, you could get a spin up along the area. So what we'll do is continue to keep your eye on this. If we do see another tornado warning, we'll pop on to let you know. For right now, I'm going to sign off.